is it? This is your spiritual podcast for grounded people. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but trust us. I'm KristaLyn.
I'm Emily.
Yes.
It's going to be a great episode.
You're coming into this in the middle of us trying to figure out how to get tarot cards out of their boxes.
No,
we're doing
keep
a
it
bad
in.
job. Keep them in. My bad. So on our last episode, which we just recorded about 5 minutes ago, we were already planning on making this episode being sort of about how to listen to spirit. Since we're in the middle of eclipse season and exerting your will on things is not as much in the cards as it would normally be. How do we pay attention? How do we take in omens? How do we take in signs? How do we hear from spirit on what we can align ourselves with and be most in the flow of this period of time? And divination is a really great technique and tool to do that. So we thought we would do a card pull episode for all of us.
Yeah, we haven't done a card pull episode in a while, too.
No.
I do just want to say, if you're like, first of all, the eclipse happened yesterday when you're listening to this. And if you're like, what? It's Monday and you guys have an episode? That's
There's
correct.
that.
We have changed our posting schedule. I know.
Yeah.
How anti-routine can we
Eclipses
be?
are all about change, y'all.
Yep. So our episodes now come out on Mondays. If you'd like the episodes early, you can hop into either of our Patreons. On our we have a podcast here. Both of us do. And you will get the episode on Saturday. But we will have recorded it a week in advance. So I just want to preface it by we will have recorded this episode a week in advance. So shit could have hit the fan in that time.
And we'll talk about it on the Alchemist Ink Spill.
Yeah, we will talk about that on the Alchemist Ink Spill, which will happen every Friday. It is a live show. You can come and interact with us and have fun with us on either Instagram or YouTube. We're hoping to branch that to TikTok too. But you know what? Technology is fighting us.
Yeah,
and we're
they're
gonna
really
let
not
it
making that
be.
easy.
So, and that's okay. That's what we're going to roll with it. But YouTube and Instagram. And we will be able to interact with you in live time. You can ask us questions. We're going to talk about the stuff that's going on in the spiritual community. Like, it's going to be just a lot more. It's like spilling tea, but spilling ink. You get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you're like, wow, best eclipse gift ever, you get us on Mondays. I hope that's how you feel.
I really
So
do
that-
too. That'd be so nice.
How you feel. But yeah, so we are just barely dipping our toe into eclipse season because it literally happened yesterday when you're listening to this. So we're going to be pulling cards to do the divination for you. We always recommend that, especially during eclipse season, you just be receptive. Have your little feely feels open for the universe to use, communicate, access, whatever. And that is listening to spirit, not working with spirit, not controlling spirit, not moving spirit around, not manifesting, not shedding, just listening, being receptive, and following the intuitive wandering path that leads out before you. Best thing that you can do during eclipse season.
And self-care. Nurture yourself, renew your energy, cleanse your energy, get ready for the next thing. We sleep before we start another day. Our energy deserves that too. So imagine that this is our good night's sleep 2 weeks of the 6-month period.
I will say, cleanse and ward the shit out of your house, though. Like, it is
Yeah.
a cleansing and warding the shit out of your house type of moment that we're in right now. I need to do that, actually. I've been getting messages about that for days.
Yeah, no, I do it regularly here. There's a person down 2 doors down from me that has a certain cardboard stand-up in his window. So we're as magical here as we could possibly be. For real. It's weird, but okay.
Super yucky. Anyway, I do need to clean and do that, though. And I will say doing more of like a physical energy cleansing for your home is really what we're looking at right now. Like, if you want to do smoke cleansing, if you want to do sound cleansing, open all the windows, like actually doing some like physical sweeping, cinnamon in front of your door, sweep that out. Like, let's do some like cleansing.
Yep.
That is something I seriously recommend for eclipse season, because it's not
Simmer
really super
pots.
magic work. It's like, we're making our space. We're having sacred space, and that's what we need.
Simmer pots are awesome for this time of year as well. I love them.
What I've recently discovered, it's an Eastern European way that they make a drink. What is it called? Not
Is it a toddy?
No.
Okay.
It's like a simmer pot, but you can drink it afterwards.
Well,
Which
that's
I
cool. I usually put my simmer
love.
pot stuff in a bath or something.
No, yeah, it's like a simmer pot you can drink afterwards. Like, it's making an actual drink of all the fruits and stuff that you're putting in there. Man, everyone in the comments is going to yell at us about this one. If
I
you
love
know
that.
what it
Do
is,
that.
type it in. Do that thing, because then you can drink it also. It starts with a K, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, as soon as we stop recording,
I
I'm
feel like a
remember it.
terrible folk magician right now. I'm literally taking leadership in the lineage that I'm in, and I don't know this.
Anyway,
Whoops.
you could do that too. Make a drink. Make some applesauce. That's a simmer pot.
That is soup.
Yeah, soup is a simmer pot.
Yeah.
Gotta love me some soup. I am a big soup girly for sure. Soup and salad are my game. I love it with bread, but yeah.
Yeah. I like to put the salad in a wrap, have extra salad, and then have a soup.
Nice. We make a lot of homemade bread in general all the time. Constantly we're making homemade bread, but like that's always extra emphasized with soup. Then we need more bread, and that's also great.
Yeah. Bread in soup. Wow. You are hungry.
I'm so hungry.
By the way, I'm still hungry from the last episode.
Oh my God. For like self-care, I'm like, I know some self-care food.
Energy.
Really
that's how we get it.
It's fine. Now I'm gonna want food I don't have at home though either. Like that's gonna be a problem. I don't have time to grocery store for food right now.
I'm sitting here like I always love talking about food, but this is a lot of talking about food like for our episode. I'm hungry.
I'm so hungry. I'm so sorry, guys. If you're like, dang, way to start off my Monday morning starving. Apologies.
Well, if you're listening to this, grab a snack and tune in. We're about to do some card pulls.
Right? Yeah. I am going to be using... I'm going to do like ASMR with it. For the Love of Dragons. This is my Boris deck. I was on a hunt for a dragon deck for a really long time. Who's this by? It's by Angie Sullins and Amy Brown. But I was on a hunt for a dragon deck for a long time. There's tons of dragon decks out there. However, last year's Valhalla Renaissance Fair. The Valhalla Renaissance Fair is called that because it actually takes place in a place called Valhalla. It's not just because you're supposed to like, cosplay the Norse in Valhalla. It's actually like in a location of that, just for context. But I found this at one of the stands and Boris was like, that one. And I'm like, finally. So this is the dragon one. I'm really excited. It's one of my favorite ones. It's great. And then I'm using the Sherwood Oracle, which I actually haven't used a whole ton. But this is the same people that did the Wildwood Tarot. But they did the Sherwood Oracle. And yes, that is Robin Hood, Sherwood Forest. We have Robin Hood as characters in this bad boy. And I honestly wasn't going to use this one. It's by Mark Ryan, John Matthews, and Anne Yvonne Gilbert. I actually wasn't going to use this one. And then it was like, too bad you are. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. What
Fun
about
fact,
you?
I have the Robin Hood asteroid conjunct my ascendant, which is a huge inspiration for my desired aesthetic, which I have not achieved yet, but I'm working on it. My own that I'm doing is the Star Spinner Tarot deck because it has lovers cards for every pairing.
Love it.
Which is really great. It's super inclusive. It's by Trungles. That's literally the name. Trungles.
Trungles.
Yep. It's
Sounds
by
like a Harry
Trungles.
Potter character.
Right? Or some kind of like your elf friend that lives in the tree. And then the Avatar Arcana by Ariana Rose Art, who this actually was gifted to me by a dear friend named Emily. So yeah, Em got me these cards. And it's literally Avatar the Last Airbender. Like, Sokka is the fool. So it's going to be even more fun for you at home to also be able to lean into the archetypal interpretations of the cards. I am not taking a sip of water at all this episode.
I was trying to get the cards out. One was stuck in the bottom, so I had to like shake it onto myself.
Earlier when I said we're having trouble getting cards out of the deck, that was a prediction, clearly.
Yeah, right before we hopped on, I dropped the Dragon Tarot, and it just like went everywhere. It's not Tarot's Oracle, and I like was like trying to gather it back up and put it back in the box, and I'm like dying laughing because I'm like, it's not your time. Yeah, you need to wait.
Back in there, man. Yeah.
Okay,
Just doing some light shuffling because my microphone picks up everything.
Well, I'm gonna do it like again ASMR style. Here we go. We're gonna shuffle the cards. Because this way, if you hear shuffling noises, it's on purpose. Shuffle. These cards are really pretty, by the way. Like these dragon ones, they have like a shiny purple edge, and it just makes me like really happy. Like, look at those bad boys. Look how cute they are.
That's so cute. I love that.
We're gonna shuffle that up. Oh no, don't do that.
Tune this on when you're trying to fall asleep. Oh no, don't do that.
I'm so good at ASMR. I definitely wouldn't make mistakes constantly.
We missed our calling.
Okay, we got the first
I can't even
one.
shuffle cards coordinated.
I'm feeling like 2 from each deck at the moment.
I feel like draw one from each. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here.
Okay.
Oh, this one's cool.
Just split the deck.
It has an eclipsing moon on it. What a fucking show. So good. Love the devil card. So good, Krista.
Hang on the other
so
one.
Good.
That was actually my first card in my own pool today, too, so I'm, like, nervous. What are you
I pulled
trying
the
to
tower
say?
3 times last week, just for fun facts about my life.
Wow.
So
How did
great.
that go?
I don't know.
Okay, I got my 2.
I'm getting 2 from each deck, so I have 2 dragons, and now
So you have 4.
I'm gonna have 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling 2 from each deck. I wasn't gonna do 2 from each deck, but then I got in here, and that's what's gonna happen. So
All right, I've got my other one coming up. Oh, that's
I
pretty.
don't have enough space on my desk to accommodate this at the
Whoop,
moment.
whoop. Okay. Woof.
Stay today. I'm getting like really lovely pulls. So far I've pulled the Crystal Guardian. Lovely. Gotta love it. If you want to see it, go to the YouTube. You can see the actual video. Yeah. And the Relaxer. It's the dragon in a teacup. So mine are not as horrible as Krista seemed to be at the moment.
Listen, the star spinners really... They're nice. They work. The Avatar one is going hard. There they go again.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so we're just going to interpret what we think these mean for the moment, basically. Like, this is a what do we need to know kind of question.
Tell us about Eclipse stuff cards.
Yeah, so the cards knew that already. Don't worry, like, that was our intention.
What is that?
I'm trying to feel, do you feel like what the 2 cards and the 2 cards are, or are we making just a cohesive story out of all of them for one response?
I was just going to go with vibes.
Okay.
I think it's just like generalized advice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm getting the feelings of. Are we doing this Sherwood or what? Give me a card.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting, so for mine, I think that I have 2 cards that are like your personal world, like what is within your immediate growth and stuff, and then stuff that you'll be kind of seeing from the outside world. And so this is like, focus on this because you're going to be seeing this.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's good
I'm
news.
still doing my aesthetic shuffle.
It's very pretty. Ready?
Don't drop all the cards. You can start doing yours if you want to do your first 2, and then I'll do mine for... Guys, this is bad. I just dropped all of them again. Okay.
All right. So the external world, or basically the headlines that we may see during this eclipse season, begins with the devil.
Fun.
Represented by Ko the Face Stealer, and also has the 9 of Swords for the... So, I mean, like, what headlines have been awesome lately? So I'm not, like, super surprised, but it does look like there is some change that's coming, and some people are likely going to be kind of in the find out phase, is what it feels like. I think that the headlines are going to show that certain people of the societal zeitgeist are in the find out phase. And when I look at the 9 of Swords, swords are actually the air element, right?
They are.
This is why we got the gliders here. And so the 9 of Swords is 9 is the last step before 10. Numerologically, this is the last thing we have to overcome before we reach culmination and before we reach actualization. And so it looks like we are getting a lot closer. I have in mind what I think this is related to. I think anybody out there probably does as well. But it looks like we're getting closer to reaching a point of no return with information, with understanding about bringing around the find out phase for a lot of people who have been doing things that are unaligned.
It also feels very chaotic to me. Like that pull feels like it's going to be very chaotic.
And that's where the other 2 come in.
Yeah.
So what I got for us individually as people and what we're supposed to do, because my advice, roll your eyes at this, because it's going to be doing what it's going to be doing, and you got to do stuff very well done. Oh, rewind, watch Emily for examples of how to roll your eyes really well.
You don't have to. I'm just like miming what Krista is saying.
I like it. I think you deserve the credit. So the first card I got for us, though, is Empress. So again, oh, cool. It reminds me a lot of like sitting in your power. And again, this Empress is gathering wheat. And so we are in Virgo season, which is really appropriate for this. But it's, focus on what you're growing. Focus on your abundance. Grow your own stuff in your life. Focus on what you are tending to and realize that you are surrounded by a lot more control than you give yourself credit for. Then the next thing was the 2 of Wands. So one of the things that's actually coming to me with this is not necessarily, I think, the tarot way of doing things, but have conversations with people. Actually talk with other people. Find your community. Be with them, come to the ink spill, and just be immersed in the people who make you feel better about your surroundings. Be immersed in the people who make you feel like you're in the Empress position, rather than the ones who are making you feel like the world is chaotic and there's nothing we can do about it. This is going to happen. There are gears that are turning, and as they do, we have to be the ones who are doing what we're doing, focusing on what we're good at, and putting out there the healing and the virtues, and I don't know why virtue is a word I want to bring out, but all of the things that we represent in the world, so that during and after the chaotic crap, because there will be an after, we can focus on the world that we are actually building. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like.
I love that.
Thanks.
I'm going to start off with the book for my 2 in the Sherwood Forest, because I don't know the characters of the Robin Hood legend. Anyway, I don't know the characters
Steal from the
of
rich.
Legend as well as I thought I did. So we pulled, this is again about the world, because this one, I was trying to see which world, and turns out the dragons are very cozy and at home in ourselves, and so this one's about like what you're going to see in society. And it's a man named Young Gamwell. In the words of my teenager, it looks like a baddie.
Man, I really thought I knew this legend. I do not.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I can't read off of that. And then I did get the major oak. Now, the cool thing about this deck, it has really in-depth explanation. So it actually tells about the legend first. And then depending upon where it is in your spread, it actually gives you a reading of like where in relation to your spread, like where, what person, like, so it's like as a challenger or as a blessing or as a companion. So it like gives you more information based on like where it's showing up in your cards. What I'm gonna read is I'm gonna read your keywords and then your tree words, because that also gives you both. And you know me, I love a good tree. And then it also has questions of place, like in the at the major oak, whatever. Anyway, because this came with the major oak, I'm also gonna read what it says with the major oak. That's what we're gonna go off of. Then I'm gonna give you channeled vibes from there, because again, I thought I knew this legend. I don't know Young Gamwell. Don't know him at all. So anyway,
Don't know.
Keywords for this one. By the way, his tree is the ash, which I think is fantastic. And his quote from Robin Hood's Garland is, "And noble George Gamwell said, 'Eat and be merry and drink too as long as you're able,'" which I think is cute. Keywords: vision, cleverness, quickness, sleight of hand, divination, reading the signs, richness, freshness of youth, and eagerness. Which again, if you're going to see this, like looking outside of yourself, those are the things you're going to be wanting to look for right now. It's like being receptive to messages that come through, etc. The tree words. There is a difference between fate and fortune. Neither are obtained without effort. And though we may think that though we may think they are decided, yet they allow, though we may think that they're, my God, I'm starting over. Leave me alone, my words be worded. There is a difference between fate and fortune. Neither are obtained without effort. And though we may think they are decided, yet they allow space in which we seek the best way forward and develop alternate paths. The future is not written in stone. It offers endless fateful chances for those brave enough to try. Which I think, again, seeing that in the headlines, it's going to be people being like, this is what's happening. Oh my God. And it's like, no, that's not, like, we can make our own destiny still. At the major
Don't let the
oak,
headlines take your piece.
straight up. At the major oak, because we did pull the major oak, I just want to read this in relation. The question is, can you see past your blockages? Which I think, in context of personal stuff, this might really resonate personally, but also in context of what you're seeing in the world. It's like seeing past the fear-mongering, seeing past what they've decided that it's going to happen for you. Like, let's see past that space, which personally love that. And again, he's a cool guy. Don't know much about him, but seems like a vibe about drinking and divination. So that's fun, I guess. Let's see here. Next, we're getting into the major oak, which is the center. It's centering, and it's basically places in Sherwood Forest part of the deck. So this one is the center of Sherwood Forest. That's what it represents, which is pretty cool. A place of welcoming and homecoming where all are allowed to lay down burdens and refresh themselves. Keywords are home and creativity, which is kind of fun. Yeah. Oh, this is just the history. That's all we get from it. We just get the history. Listen to this, though. This is kind of fun. I'm going to read this little blurb because I like history and you like history, and then we can pull some more meaning from it. But this is cool. Located close to the village of Edwinstowe in the heart of Sherwood Forest, this mighty tree is widely believed to have been used by the merry men as a place of refuge and meeting. However, dendrologists, they cut that word in half in a real weird location, have contradicted this claim by estimating the tree's true age to be around 800 years, which would make it little more than a sapling in Robin's time. This has not stopped generations of children from playing Robin Hood and the sheriff in and around the tree. It is so vast and ancient that its boughs are currently held up with wooden props. Most historians today agree that it only became associated with the outlaws after the publication of the History of Great Britain, both England and Scotland, by John Major in 1521. Despite these historical facts, if you sit beneath the tree and listen, you may well hear the laughter of the merry men and even the notes of Robin Hood's horn. Recent investigations by scientists such as Peter, last name I can't pronounce, and Suzanne Simard have suggested that the major oak may be what is known as the mother tree, one of which is found in most forests. This tree is literally the heart and mind of the whole wood, connected by complex root systems and mycological links with all the trees in the area. The idea that the great forests have both a personality and consciousness is something that has been understood by shamanic practitioners for many centuries. Science is finally catching up with this knowledge.
So I got 2 pings on that. And my phone just went off.
And a ping ping.
Yeah.
You ping pinged it.
So I loved when you were talking about how at the time it would have only been a sapling. It reminded me about how we're hearing a lot of big tree talk for sapling situations, but then also about how right now with its age, it has to be propped up. Like there are things that are making this tree stand longer than it would have on its own.
I feel that about a certain carrot. I felt that as well.
Those, they stood out to me. That's all I'm going to say.
I will also say, too, it feels like a lot of perceiving things as the center of the forest, being the center of attention, really the things that are actually like a mother thing, a more female energy of nurturing, a more of that type of space. And like that's the things to focus on when the world is coming at you during this eclipse season, is more of like the nurturing space, the way that we're all connected. And part of the reason I want to get a redwood tattoo, I'm going to get a redwood tattoo so bad, is redwoods have a very shallow root system. The redwoods are actually only held up by the other redwoods around them. So even though we think these are the biggest trees on the planet, their roots have to go super deep. They're incredibly, incredibly shallow. And the only reason they stand is because their community holds them up. And I think that that's a really perfect connection.
I love that. Yeah. And I'm remembering that like the tree is nature, and nature has been here longer than the current circumstances and will be here longer than the current circumstances. So also feel free to go for a walk in the woods, man, safely.
Also, you're part of nature. Can we
can we remember that?
Like, we forget it all the time. And it's so strange to me. Like, even things like talking about certain concepts of like just our natural stuff, like sex, birth, like our bodily functions, death, like these types of things. I think we forget that like those are things that should be so innate and beautiful and honored and sacred. Instead, we like shy away from them because they make us feel like nature. And that is weird to us for some reason. Yeah. I was actually thinking about this last night very emphatically. I was debating making a video up on it because I've seen recently, as people have been speculating on whether or not the Cheeto has passed, which you guys might have more information than we do right now because we're recording
by this
week
time
in the past, like straight up. But people have been speculating on that, and there's always the comment warriors that are in there like, don't wish death on people. That is like the idea that you shouldn't wish death on people is assuming that death is a negative thing. And I'm not saying that like anyone should like seek out death by all means. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying like our perception that this layer of life is somehow a negative thing and isn't some like wishing death on someone who is causing active harm to people is not a negative thing to do. That's a, hey, this world would be better off without you. You need to scoot along because you're causing infinite amounts of pain. And again, that isn't necessarily wishing horrible things on that person, even though I would wish some horrible things on some people right now. Do not get me wrong. I will curse some people because they deserve it. But I am saying like the idea that you're wishing someone death is like now for some reason so negative in people's minds. And I think that's a limiting belief more than anything else. And really, again, separates people from nature and the consequences of what it is to be a person.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because can I share like a very quick story?
Please.
And you were there for like this process too, because it was right when I moved down to Virginia from Pennsylvania. Like the day before I moved, I went to visit my grandmother who was in hospice at the time for simply old age. And my whole family was around her. And her kids, her daughter specifically, was like, Mom, you have to get better. You have to go back home. You have to do this. And I walked in and I was like, what do you want her to do? Be 16 again? Like, why are you pushing her on this? And my grandmother called me over and said, Kris, they won't let me die. And I held her hand and I said, Grandma, I'm not keeping you here. I'm going to love you wherever you are. Do you want me to tell them that? And I had said it loud enough for them to hear it anyway, but she was like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. But it's something we talk about death a lot in this household because it's a reality we're going to have to face at some point, everybody. But especially like in my case, it's something I want to make sure we feel acquainted with for the nature of where I'm headed. But to the point of there's a TV show called Dying for Sex, and it's not all about sex, but it is about someone who is coming to terms with their death. And one of the nurses in that movie says the body knows how to die. You just have to trust the process. And when I heard that, I was just like, Duh. Like, of course it does, right? It's part of the process. So to the point of letting things feel natural, feel normal, and letting that one above all, which is a very big fear for a lot of us. Like, usually if we're afraid of something, that's where we go with it. To be able to say, you know, a transition is not the worst that can happen. Sometimes our fear is something worse or different. Not to say that I think everybody should, like, go down that path right now. But
we're
to
not
just
advocating
allow things
to go find death.
No.
We're just talking about, because there are a lot of people that are noping off planet right now. I do want to be like totally clear with that. People, and I'm not saying by choice. I mean, like, things are happening. People are getting sick, whatever. There's a big wave of a lot of people passing at the moment. And I think that understanding that that is a natural part of it, understanding that like isn't the bad thing to happen, even if it hurts us and makes us really sad. That thank you for the pings.
Dang.
We're getting all the validation
I
of
know.
pings today.
Have
My
we
God.
just been talking too long?
Anyway, all that is to say is like, and this is, I've seen a lot of death in my life. I'm not speaking from this perspective of someone who's like never seen it. I've seen it in so many different ways and capacities, and I do so regular at this point, which is don't get me wrong, it sucks, but also it's a transition, not an end. All I'm going to say. Anyway, I'll leave it there.
And honestly,
next we're going to talk about it. Sorry, continue.
Sorry. I was just going to say, for every time that I have, you know, I've witnessed death, it's almost felt like an honor to be present in that moment for the good people.
Yeah. Yeah. And those that need to get the fuck off of planet right now should get the fuck off of planet, because you're hurting infinite amounts of people, and you should not be in government, nor should you have ever been given the reins to anything, let alone the nuclear codes. All I'm going to say. All I'm going to say. Yeah. Okay. We are looking at the Crystal Guardian Dragon, lovely eclipsed moon back there.
Go figure.
I was like, that's not a crescent. That's an eclipse moon. Like you can see. Anyway, Crystal Guardian, number 14. I'm going to read this one too, and then we'll ping off of that, because again, Oracle cards, not the same as tarot. We can't just grab like, this is the 9 of Swords. Anyway. Crystals contain the wisdom of Earth. Some believe that dragons, too, were made from the molten center of the Earth, and therefore, like crystals, contain an ancient wisdom. Now is the time to draw on the Earth's grounding and deep intelligence. This is hilarious. We just talked about this. Whether you consult your crystals, walk amongst the rock beds, or lay down with your spine stretched across the Earth, seek counsel of the Earth. Listen to her stories and her messages. There is a voice and vibration inside the rocks, which will help ground you deep into the molten center of your own core. These are the ones that are about internal work, by the way.
Yeah, clearly. Dragons,
well then,
man.
Molten center of your own core, which I do love. That is really nice. This next one, I already know is going to tell us like for me, I think this means also like, hey, you can relax through this. Like we can choose other paths. Like I think there's going to be a lot of ahas and directional shifts. And like we already talked about changing perspective on like the last episode, but it can also be something that you step into. I've been getting so many messages about taking the path of least resistance, and not saying least resistance in the sense of like, don't rise up and resist things that are like unaligned. That's not it. It's in your own life. Like the things that you've been fighting with, what if you don't have to fight with them? What if you can actually take the path of least resistance? And there might be some emotional stuff that comes up with that. There might be some like ramifications that are external from that make you feel uncomfortable, but that doesn't make them bad either. So I know that that's probably also what this is going to say. Oh, I want to show you the card. It's the Relaxer.
Oh,
Little cup of tea. Aren't these cards gorgeous?
They're so pretty.
Them. And most of them are dragons and not wyverns, which makes Boris deeply happy. Yes. All right. The Relaxer. Like the steam curls above a cup of tea and a dragon curls up after their flight, so do you deserve to unwind and let go. Ease is the name of this moment. Whatever it takes for you to experience a sense of relief right now, that's the direction to go. You've already applied your effort. Your intentions are clear. If it's not working, or if you're tired, overwhelmed, or stressed, do not rebound your efforts to make anything happen. Curl up and relax. It's a good time to let go.
Ta-da.
Everything we say about eclipse season all the time. I love these dragon cards so much. The Sherwood ones are like complicated, but the dragon ones, I'm like, man, you got this, guys. So good. Anyway, yeah, that's our card pull in the middle of eclipse season. Do ones for yourself. Krista and I both use an app. It's called Labyrinthos, and we pull our cards from that app every night or morning or whatever for the next day, and it's really nice. So if you want something that's like not just physical cards, that like actually keeps track of it, allows you to journal on it, teaches you more about tarot, that's also another option to use. Yeah. This is not sponsored. We just use it.
Yeah. I mean, if they want to sponsor us, we'd be down.
Oh my gosh, please. Yeah. Anyway, join us on the Alchemist Ink Spill, and we'll talk through what exactly is happening with the world and everything in real time, as opposed to a week in the past.
Yeah,
that's every
and we'll
Friday
talk about it with you.
Yeah, that's Friday on YouTube and Instagram Live. Hang out with us.
at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and 10 a.m. Pacific Time.
Yeah, we probably should announce that on the last episode. We didn't do that. We'll put it in the show notes. Also, if you could download this episode on anything that you're listening to, that would be amazing. If you are on YouTube, and you could make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit the little alerty button for when we are live or we have posted something, that would be amazing. And if you want to comment what emoji represents this episode to you, we would love to see those. We love them. We read all of our comments.
We do.
love
Yeah.
them. Thank you guys so much, and we hope that you are in this eclipse energy and that you 1, 2, 3
Go make some magic.